everybody. Welcome to episode 48 of the Joys of Games podcast. This is a Thursday night, February 9th, 2017. This is our Etc. week. This is a very special week. This is a week that we have been promising you to do for about a month and a half now. I'm excited to be here. I hope you are as well. I am one of your co-hosts, Josh Brown. I am joined, as always, by Collin Wheeler. Hi, Collin.
Good evening.
Are you ready for tonight?
I'm so ready. I'm excited.
We're pretty good friends. Tonight may change things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to get ugly here, folks. We are going to do our favorite games, the best games, the top games, the most joyful games.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The game of the years games of the year?
Yes.
For 2016.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to break down all the games that we played and enjoyed in 2016 in some handy little lists, which is going to be fun. It's going to be peaceful. How it's going to work is we have 5 different categories. We're each going to bring to the table our top 5 lists for each of those categories, okay? So I'm going to have my top 5s for each one. Colin's going to have his top 5s for each one. That's going to be very, very well done. It's going to be nice and peaceful and calm, and we'll get to laugh and sing and hold hands together. It's going to be great. But then the main event of the show is going to be us trying to determine the top 10 games from 2016. And we are going to combine lists. We are going to fight and scrap to have games make the list, make the cut, move up and down the list, push other games off the list. It's going to be a bloodbath. And you guys get to sit in and watch it happen through the beauty of audio podcasting. Are you ready to do this, Collin?
My body is Reggie.
Where should we start? Should we start with Nintendo?
I think we should do an order of the weeks that we do in the podcast.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking as well. So I'm going to defer to you here, Collin. I'm going to just accept the fact that I won the coin toss before this show. And instead of receiving, I'm going to kick off to you and let you take offense first. Collin, let's hear your top 5 Nintendo games for 2016.
So I have to say, first and foremost, Nintendo, I feel like, in my opinion, had kind of a tough year this year.
Yeah.
I feel like there wasn't a whole lot of, amazing have-to-have titles, but they did have some good stuff.
Now, hold on. I need to clarify this, because I don't think we actually determined this via text. I hope we did. But just so there's no confusion, we are talking just strictly the Wii U.
Oh, really?
Because, okay, the 5 categories we have here, folks, are Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, VR, and then handheld/mobile games.
Oh, no, this changes everything.
And I interpreted that as the Nintendo 3DS games would slide into that category. Does that change your list much?
It does, quite a bit.
Maybe I should go first with Nintendo then.
Let's do that, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna, it's good to go with defense when offense is...
Great defense wins championships, Colin.
Yeah.
Unless you have Tom Brady. Okay, my top 5 Nintendo Wii U games for 2016. Number 5, Star Fox Guard. Not 0.
Yeah.
Because that game was a hot mess.
Yeah.
Guard was pretty solid.
I remember you saying, hey, do you want to borrow 0? I'm like, nah.
Because you're like, I'm never going to play it. I'm like, well, maybe you should. You're like, I don't even want to borrow it. You could drive it over to my house, hand deliver it, and I still don't want to play it.
Yep.
But if it came with Star Fox Guard, I think you might have been a little bit more tempted.
Yeah.
Solid game. I appreciate the fact that it was a free game packed in to make the Star Fox package more reasonable. So it was my number 5 Wii U game of 2016. Number 4, Pokken Tournament. Fun little fighting game. It was Pokemon. It came with a Pokemon Amiibo card, which desperately screams, do more of these.
Please.
But it was a pretty decent Wii U exclusive fighting game.
Yeah.
That wasn't Smash Brothers. Number 3, Paper Mario Color Splash. Fun little game. I appreciated it. Very funny. Very well done. Battle system is a little wonky, but overall, it's a good little Paper Mario game. Number 2, Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge. Free game.
Yeah.
But it was really good. It was really well done. And it made me feel like my Amiibo were worth something. And that was a good feeling to have, because sometimes you kind of forget that they are actually interactive with games, you know? My number 1 Nintendo Wii U game of 2016 is none other than Twilight Princess HD.
Shocking. That's your number 1.
Yeah. So, Colin.
Oh man.
Now that I have gone through my list.
Now that you've gone through your list and you told me this rule, it gutted my list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with a top 2.
Okay.
Because I only played 2 games.
Sure. No, that's a good thing to point out. Like, we kind of just went in guns blazing on this, but these are not, like, the best games overall. These aren't based on, like, Metacritic. These aren't based on, like, other people's reviews of them. These are based on the games that Colin and I played in 2016. We didn't have time to play everything. There's going to be games that we completely left off this list, mainly because you and I just didn't play them. We didn't have time. We didn't have the want or desire to play them, or for whatever reason, just didn't make the cut. So this is just us talking about the games that we played and we enjoyed. So
yeah, so my number 2 it's gonna be Pokken Tournament.
Okay.
Kind of similar to what you said. It's a fun game. Actually has a ton of depth as well, which is surprising. A lot of times you'll see licensed fighters, and we've seen them in the past, and they don't have a lot of depth. Like, you can play them, you're like, oh, I like these characters, but like after 2 rounds I don't want to play anymore. But I felt like Pokken Tournament had a very good, like, fighting mechanic, and the off-centered camera was pretty cool too, as opposed to like the 2D style that like a Tekken or Street Fighter had. I just thought it was really unique, especially with all the like extra super moves that you could do too. Yeah, I think this is a great game, and I hope to see either a Switch version or some kind of sequel happen in the future. So
yeah, definitely.
So Pokken Tournament's number 2. Guess what my number 1 is? Just guess.
Star Fox Zero.
No.
Oh.
No, sir.
Oh.
You can throw that in the dumpster behind you. Twilight Princess HD has to be.
Yeah.
It's just I still think that Twilight Princess on the GameCube is the better way to play out of that in the Wii version, but Twilight Princess HD is by far the definitive version to play that game.
Yeah, definitely. Really well done. They pay attention to the detail and craftsmanship that goes into making a proper HD version of an old game, and they could do that with any of their old games, as far as I'm concerned. So,
yeah.
Between Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, just remaster them all. Let's do it, Nintendo.
Incredible. So, yep, those are my top 2.
Alrighty.
That's what I got for Wii U.
Thanks, Colin.
Oh yeah.
Xbox.
Okay, you want me to go first on Xbox?
Yeah, you go first on this one.
So number 5.
Uh-huh.
Gears of War 4.
Okay.
It's more Gears of War. It's fantastic. Looks great. Some really cool moments in it. Definitely worth playing. So Gears 4 is number 5.
Okay.
Number 4, Dark Souls 3.
All right.
I think Dark Souls 3 is basically the culmination of everything that FromSoft has done, and Miyazaki, the director, with the Dark Souls and Bloodborne series all put together. It's like a greatest hits, best controls, best look. The story's really kind of crazy, so I don't know about the best story, but like overall, it's the best type of Souls game that's been released.
Sure.
So number 3 is going to be Overwatch.
Oh, okay.
Overwatch is similar to Splatoon in that it is a shooter that is fun if you win or if you lose. It has a ton of depth and a ton of strategy, but if you just want to go in there and just kind of play casually, it totally lets you do that. And it's really accessible. You're able to get bots instead of fighting against actual people. And then if you do want to go into actual fighting people, you kind of feel prepared because you fought like harder bots and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then it has a really cool like gameplay loop of loot boxes. So after you level up, you can unlock loot boxes that give you different random skins and voices and like all sorts of cool little stuff that's just all specifically cosmetic. And all the characters are really memorable and really like fun to play as. So yeah, Overwatch, it's definitely up there.
All right.
Number 2, Inside. Inside. I have not played a 2D platformer that is as good as Inside.
Right.
Except for maybe Mario. Mario's like the only exception.
Sure.
Like perfectly paced, perfectly controls, spooky to no end, unnerving, depressing, sad. But just so much is going on in that game that it's one of the most memorable experiences this year.
Sure.
And I think the 3-hour length was absolutely perfect for that game. And every puzzle felt really fun and satisfying. And the ending, oh boy, that ending.
Tell me about it.
That ending. So, number 1.
Yeah.
Doom.
Huh. Okay. All right.
One of the best first-person shooter campaigns I've played since Halo 3.
Okay.
So it's been about 10 years, 9 years, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, the gameplay loop of the only way you're really getting ammo and health is if you get up and melee people. So it forces you to constantly be in your face and constantly run around. And then the later levels, they build on that by giving you like jumps and like there's a lot of verticality to the gameplay, and each of the different demons that you fight all uniquely function, and you have to uniquely take them down in specific ways. Like there's a lot of strategy for such a fast-paced and crazy game, plus a killer soundtrack. So Doom is my number 1 for Xbox.
All right. Nice list. Nice solid list here. My number 5, Dark Souls 3. I didn't play as much as you did, but the time that I did spend with Dark Souls 3, I enjoyed it. My first Souls game. It was frightening. It was filled with anxiety and frustration, but I think that is exactly what those games are going for. So, Dark Souls 3, my number 5 Xbox game of the year. Number 4, Colin. Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
did
good
it.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's kind of a re-release, but hey, you know what? That's when I jumped on board with Ori, and
so was Twilight Princess. So
I was glad to do so. It was a phenomenal experience, just beautifully done. Number 3, Gears of War 4. Fun game, fun shooter. It's one of those games where you don't have to think too much about things. You just kind of go in and go in guns blazing and do your thing. You know, I liked it. I appreciated it. Number 2, Inside. Might have been number 1 if it wasn't for that ending. Just saying. Great game. Phenomenal. I can't sing that praises enough for that game. Like, the twist at the end was so unexpected and so perfectly done that I honestly don't know how they managed to get it to do what they were able to do with it, you know?
And still feel so good while you're
Yeah.
doing it.
Super satisfying. My number one Xbox game, 2016, was a late entry in the year, but definitely worthy of the title of my favorite Xbox game in 2016, Dead Rising 4. Zombies, Frank West, Christmas time, recipe for success, my friend. That was just a fun game. Such a fun game. Just, again, mindless activity that everything that you do in it feels satisfying. There's a little bit of challenge, but not enough to where you have to, like, focus on it a lot. And I'm okay with that. I need those gaming experiences. I need to be able to just sit down and shut off my brain for a little bit sometimes. And that game was perfect for that. It came out at just the right time. It was incredibly fun, Christmas themed, just overall great. I loved it so much.
See, this makes me happy that we're doing this because I totally forgot that even came out.
Yeah, right.
And I always wanted to play it, but just things got in the way. Just didn't happen. So
right.
It's good to see it on your list.
Fair enough. Well, do you want me to go ahead and do PlayStation then?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So switching over to PlayStation here. Obviously, we're talking about PlayStation 4. Unless Colin threw in a PlayStation 3 game, which would be very unlike him. But you know what? Colin, you're full of surprises, so I'm not going to count it out of question yet. So my number 5 PlayStation 4 game of 2016 is not just one game, Colin, but 3. BioShock The Collection.
Ah, okay.
Beautiful. Just so good. I mean, nothing really changed from the BioShock games, except they just look way prettier, and that goes a long, long way. It was so fun to get back into those games, to replay through them, to play it on the PlayStation 4 and make them look as good as they did. Oh, God. I didn't think I had it in me to go back and play old games like that, and I became just obsessed with them immediately, as soon as I started playing them. So BioShock The Collection comes with all the DLC, which is great. Just well done, very well done, and I hope it's not the last we see of BioShock. Number 4, Far Cry Primal. I love me some Far Cry, starting with Far Cry 3. Then Far Cry Blood Dragons, Far Cry 4, all of it, super well done. Going into Primal, I was a little skeptical, right?
Yeah, and not to mention, the ramp up to that was so weird.
Yeah.
They had, a Twitch stream going for 3 hours that just had cave drawings. Everyone's like, what in the world are they doing?
And it was like a 5-week announce cycle. It was this game's announced, and then it's like, oh, no, yeah, that's coming in a month and a half.
I thought for sure it was getting delayed. Everyone thought it was going to be delayed. Yeah. It's like, no way. No way.
No, they're totally done with it.
And everybody's like, oh, it's probably a small experience. Nope, it is a full-on Far Cry game.
Full-on Far Cry game without vehicles and without guns.
Yep.
Which you're like, okay, how is that Far Cry? Well, because everything else is so Far Cry. And it was just taking down a woolly mammoth, Colin. There are things that, you don't ever really expect to do in video games, but lighting woolly mammoths on fire with flaming arrows and then taking them down with your primitive weapons is one of those things that's just you know what? That's really cool. And I never would have thought of ever being able to do this in a video game. Because why would you? Well, if you need woolly mammoths to survive, Colin, you're going to do what you got to do to bring those suckers down. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
So, Far Cry Primal. It was a kind of out of nowhere game, and it succeeded in being a really good Far Cry game. So, everything about it was just meant for failure, and it's just no, this is a solid game. Good on them.
Yeah.
Number 3, Ratchet and Clank. Another game that could have easily been a disaster. And they nailed it.
Yeah.
They didn't just HD remake it. They designed the game all over again from the ground up. And they did it so masterfully. Like, it felt so good playing this game. Like, you know the basic story, you know the basic premise, but it didn't feel like you were just playing an up-resed version of the old game. It was like, this is a new, perfectly controlled Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah, kudos to Insomniac. How often do the original developers get to go back and remake their game?
Not many.
I feel like that's part of the reason why it was so freaking good is just they had so much passion for their previous work, and then and it still blows my mind that game came out at a $40 price point, because that is far better than most $60 games that came out last year. So,
and the sad part is, like, everybody saw the lower price tag and they're not confident in their product, and they're just trying to sell as much as they can because they know that it's a bad game. And
plus, it's a movie tie-in too. That's also like red flags. Like, ooh,
and none of that was true. It was just like, no, this is a solid game, and they're just like, you've kind of played this game before, sorta. Here's $40. We'll cut 20 off because this is relatively the same story you're familiar with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Such a shame in that aspect, but overall, beautiful, beautiful game. Like, just gorgeous, top to bottom. Speaking of gorgeous, Colin.
Me? You're talking about me?
Yes, but I'm also talking about my number 2 game.
Oh.
Uncharted 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty solid PlayStation 4 game.
Yeah, pretty dang good.
I mean, you got to play as Crash Bandicoot. You got to play Crash Bandicoot as Nathan Drake playing Crash Bandicoot, the old school Crash Bandicoot, on the old PlayStation 1, while playing Uncharted 4 as Nathan Drake on your PlayStation 4.
Right, so there's the PlayStation 1, 4, there's
a lot of numbers.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like Inception, PlayStation Inception.
A little bit. Uncharted 4, fantastic. I mean, masterpiece. What else can you say about it, right? My only problem with it is I didn't quite finish it.
Oh, no! Blasphemy.
Yes, only because I was trying to be a tough guy and played on hard for the extra trophy.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where it was incredibly difficult. And I was just like, I'm going to put this game down for a second and play something else. And that second turned into many, many months later. So I really hope, I haven't looked into it, that you could bump the difficulty down mid-game. Some games don't let you do that. And I'm worried that if I put it in and I try to play it again, I'm going to run into that issue and I won't be able to bump it down to easy so I could run through the rest of it. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to start that whole game over again. So we'll see. I don't know. I want to see the ending. I want to know what happens.
You really should.
But it was my own fault for me not finishing it, not the game's fault, because the game was amazing. Everything I got up to at that point was so well done. But it did make my number 1 spot, Colin. That spot is reserved for a very special game. A game that is near and dear to my heart. For reasons I still can't fully explain, but I fell in love with this so hard, so quickly. And I know people's concerns with it. I've listened to them. I get it. But for me, this was absolutely my favorite gaming experience on the PlayStation 4 in 2016. Firewatch.
Firewatch.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The feels of that game. The story. The art. The voice acting. Everything about it, I was absolutely enamored with. I can't think of 2016 without thinking about how much I love Firewatch. And even with the fact that there was a weird glitch in the game that I couldn't advance past because it glitched out on a save, and I was just stuck. I was just absolutely stuck until a patch had to be rolled out that fixed my ability to progress and finish the game. I obsessed about not being able to finish that game so hard because I had invested so much emotion and thought and feelings into the story at that point where it's just like I'm not even mad that this isn't working. It's just like it's kind of like a TV show taking like a mid-season break, except that mid-season break is like right before the last 2 episodes of the season, where you know the ending's in sight, but it's just like, yeah, we're gonna take a little bit of time off here. It's like, no, I need those last 2 episodes. That's what happened to me with Firewatch.
Yeah,
but my God, that game is just something special. Just the music, the visuals, like I said, the voice acting, the story itself, how the game opens up, like just immediately grabs at you by your heartstrings, and you're just like, I'm wrapped in. Okay, you got me already. I loved it so much. That's my number 1 game.
Yeah, it's something I definitely missed out on and wish I didn't. Maybe down the road.
Sure.
I'll find some time.
Yeah.
I hear it's a fairly short game, so
yeah, a few hours. What's your top 5 list, Colin?
Okay, so for the PlayStation, for number 5,
yeah,
and this is gonna be one that people will be like, "Huh, really?" But man, I thought this game was phenomenal. Okay. I thought the technology behind it is revolutionary, even if the gameplay hook wasn't as good as other games. But No Man's Sky, man. No Man's Sky was my number 5.
Okay.
I did not have these astronomical, no pun intended, expectations for this game. I thought it was going to be kind of like Minecraft in space, where you just basically wander around and just kind of do your own thing and be your own narrative. Mm-hmm. And there were things like the inventory system was kind of wonky. But like overall, like going to the different planets and seeing how different each one of them there are, and the idea that I can go and explore an entire planet and then just hop on a ship and go and explore another entire planet was just insane to me. And the fact that part of the game worked quite well, and the aesthetics of it, like you would go to a planet and it would have like pink grass with these weird, squid. Floating squid things in the sky. Like it was just so unique and so interesting. The technology behind it is honestly what made me enjoy it more than the actual gameplay. But my gosh, what a cool experience No Man's Sky was.
Yeah, definitely. Experience is like the perfect term for that game.
So number 4, I'm going to go with Final Fantasy 15.
Ooh, okay.
Still in the middle of playing it, so I have not completed it yet. But I want to say I'm about halfway through it, and it's everything I wanted it to be. Like it is a Final Fantasy game that is made for me. Honestly, it's I love the combat system. I like the characters. I like the side quests. I like the main story. I even like all the like extra stuff they did, like the movie and the anime they did for it to kind of connect everything all together. I thought it was really well done. And the creatures are really interesting, and you just fight some insane, like, God of War size bosses in this game, and it just those moments are just blew me away. So that's my number 4.
Cool.
My number 3 is going to be Uncharted 4.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic story. The visually, I still think it's one of the best looking PlayStation 4 games.
Yeah.
Especially that Madagascar level. Holy crap! Like. Right. Just phenomenal. And Naughty Dog they're just expert storytellers. So I mean, I had to give it to Uncharted 4 for that.
Sure.
Number 2, another one that people be like, "Huh, really?" Is Last Guardian.
Huh, okay, yeah.
Last Guardian really grabbed me in a way that a game hadn't in a long time. There were moments in that game when I was playing it when Trico, the bird dog, gets captured or hurt, and you have to save him somehow from like it's like a environmental puzzle, like a gate fell on him. You're like, oh, you have to save him, and him whimpering and crying. Like I kind of like lost myself and was like so enthralled in like trying to save him and like panicking that he was hurt, even though he's not a real creature.
Right.
That's how much that game affected me. And it wasn't just that moment. Like there were several moments of like, this is my companion. There's moments where you get separated from him, and like it really upset me because I was like, where is he? I have to find him. Where is he? He's my friend. He's my buddy. And like a real pet. Like it really was. It's this weird, like distance from reality that I need to take care of this virtual creature. So
yeah, how could you get attached to just a game character like that? And that game makes it very easy to.
Yeah. And the story is really interesting. The mystery behind it was really, really unique, I guess. And the soundtrack is it's like classical music, and it just perfectly goes with the emotion that the game is trying to tell. And I still can't believe it came out, like, honestly. And I can't believe it came out, like, yeah, it's not perfect, but I can't believe it came out and it's not horrible. Like, right. It was one of my favorite games.
On the same day as Final Fantasy 15. Like, was it the same day or a week apart?
It was a couple weeks.
Okay, regardless.
Yeah, I think, oh, no, it was a week apart, yeah, because it came out December 6th, yeah. I know I've told the story before, but
it's like a fever dream.
I bought a PS3 for Final Fantasy 13 Versus, which is what 15 is, and Last Guardian and Kingdom Hearts 3, and they're all on the next generation.
Well, 2 of them are.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens with Kingdom Hearts 3. I might have to get a PS5 for that one.
Not not trying to bring your hopes down here, Colin, but let's be realistic about it at this point.
I got the Last Guardian. I got Final Fantasy 15. I'm happy.
2 out of 3 is not bad.
Yep. My number one game.
The
Witness.
Oh.
No,
I
The Witness.
thought you were going to put it on your list both times, Colin.
I'll just put Doom in every category. It was on the Wii U, right?
Pretty sure.
Mobile? It was on mobile. No, The Witness. Perfectly crafted puzzle game. Every single environment, basically every image you see is either a puzzle or a clue to a puzzle. And I have no idea how Jonathan Blow and his team did it. Like, it's so mind-blowing, like how crazy that game is and how nerve-wracking it is to solve the puzzles, because there's some puzzles that you're just like, I'm going to break the controller in half because I have no idea what to do. And you retrace your steps and you're like, I still don't know what to do.
Even if they look extremely simple, they're not.
No. Yeah.
You know what my concern is with The Witness? Is that it's been out like almost a year now, right? And I have this like sneaky suspicion that there is like an entire additional layer of puzzles in that game that no one has even like discovered or ran across yet.
Probably.
That are just like so hidden in the depths of that game that like him and his team are just sitting back like, ha, 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 just you wait, suckers. Like, one day someone will find these, Yeah,
that moment when you see the circle that looks like a puzzle from the panel in the sky, and then you're like, I'm going to click on it, and then like the environment starts to shake and it ends up interacting like one of those puzzles. Yeah. I was like, this game is like too much in a good way. Like, it's too much. Like, I can't.
But you're like, but if
my
you stand
mind
like
was blown.
2 steps over to the left, like that puzzle doesn't exist.
Yeah. Like, it's
stupid.
It's one of the I think it's the best design game I've ever played in my life. Like, and I don't think I don't know if anything will ever top it, honestly. So, good on them. So, The Witness is my number one.
Yeah, he just needs to walk away. He'd just be done. That's his like.
I mean, yeah, Braid and that. Yeah, it's great.
You can't top yourself. Just stop. Don't even try. Nice list. Nice solid list, Colin.
Thank you.
Now I don't know.
I was going to say something.
Yes.
I was going to break up the categories here. I was saying we're going to do an order. I think we should do VR next.
That's where I was going.
Okay, cool. So it is, because it's PlayStation VR specifically. So
yes, because neither one of us have any other sort of VR headset.
Yeah.
you don't have a list because you haven't really played VR that much because you don't own PlayStation VR.
Yeah, and I just want to comment, I guess, on your list and kind of like if I played it, I'll kind of interject there. So
Sure. Now, granted, this list is from games that came out in 2016. For 2017, it's going to be Resident Evil 7, just all the way down this list. Like, best VR experience by far. But that game doesn't make the list for 2016, Colin. Number 5, PlayStation VR Worlds. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is just a glorified tech demo, right? Showing off a few different gaming experiences for the VR headset. I get that. However, it is the first thing that I show people each time I am introducing them to VR for the very first time. It is my go-to, sit down, play this shark game, and experience what VR is capable of doing for the first time.
yeah, it's a way to ease people in for sure.
Yeah, that's my reasoning for VR Worlds. I know it's not, the best out there, but like it has to be on this list. It has to be number 5 because it's just like, this is what I want to show everybody. From there, you get to decide if you like VR, if you're into it, if you're frightened of it or whatever, but you need to at least deal with these little smaller experiences first to know if you want to go further with VR.
Yeah, that's definitely the easiest way because the shark one in particular, it's just you looking around in the ocean. Like, there's really nothing else you can do in that, which is fine.
No controller, no nothing. You're just in.
But that just kind of gives you a real world perspective. And then once they start looking around, then you're like, okay, are they going to puke? No, they're not going to puke. All right, let's see what's up. Let's get you into Resident Evil next.
Work your way there. Work your way there slowly, Colin.
I don't know. I feel like that's pretty much a good step.
Number 4, Until Dawn: Rush of Blood. Not the prettiest game, I will admit, but it's an on-rail shooter, and I think the way it captures the movement of a roller coaster is really well done. I hate roller coasters. That makes me feel like I'm on a roller coaster. I don't like that feeling, but that means it's working, right?
Yeah, when I played it, for sure, like the moment when the very beginning you're just kind of like on the track, and then there's like this one little dip, like roller coaster dips, and I like felt it.
Yeah, you brace for it, like you are actually in it.
Like my brain told me, "Oh, you're on the roller coaster," and my gut kind of felt a little not like queasy, but like a little dizzy. I was like, "Whoa."
Your brain's a little confused there.
That's weird. Why did that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give him that for sure.
Sure. The shooting was fun. They use a lot of jump scares in it. They use it effectively. It's fun just to roll around in the levels and just shoot everything in sight. They have a nice wide variety of weapons. The final level is really wonky and way too over the top. Like, just it's too much. But at the same time, like, it's all kind of makes sense in the grand scheme of things of what you're actually doing and playing. It has really not much to do with Until Dawn in any aspect, but still, it's okay. It's a fun little shooter that people can have fun with without having to be a very skilled shooter with the wands, the move wands. So
yeah, that's another game that I wish I would have played, is Until Dawn.
Yeah. Oof. You need to. That was 2015 though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, because that should have been on my list if not. Number 3, Batman Arkham VR. Nice, solid, tight little Batman story. Great example of what you could do in VR. Everybody on every podcast in the history of this world have talked about the moment where you put on the cowl and you realize that you are Batman.
Yep.
That's a really cool thing. Like, it's still really cool no matter what. But just being immersed in that Arkham world, playing as Batman, doing some cool things with like the detective mode and that kind of stuff. Glorified tech demo, yes, but it's Batman, and that makes everything much better than it should be, including Batman versus Superman. So, Batman Arkham VR.
Yeah, that was my favorite experience for the short amount of time that I've done VR as well. So,
Number 2, Job Simulator.
Oh, I still want to play that.
Hilarious. Hilarious. So fun. Kids love it. Kids always want to play it or want to watch me play it because I act like a fool. The writing, the humor in it is perfect. Doing the jobs is fun. The controls get a little shifty every once in a while where it's like, yeah, I should be picking this up and my hand's not located where it should be. So you have to kind of recalibrate it a little bit more than I would like to. But it adds that sense of wackiness that is perfect for games like this. Not quite to the extent of like Octodad, but just enough to where it's like, yeah, these controls are a little weird, but that also might just be part of it, you know? So fun. Just a fun game that is really good for people watching you play it as well, because you do look like a fool. And that's a good thing.
Well, yeah.
My number one VR game, Colin. Thumper.
Really?
100%.
Interesting. Okay.
I was playing Thumper before. I tried Thumper without VR, and I was like, okay, I get it, whatever. Then you put it in VR, and it is an absolute game changer. It turns Thumper into a brand new game in ways I can't really fully explain because it doesn't look that much different. Like Thumper is like an on rails type of rhythm game, and while everything is simulating like how much speed you're gaining and moving at, the VR somehow doesn't ever make you feel like you're going that fast, which allows you to just totally immerse yourself in the sound and the visuals without like getting lost in the holy crap, I'm going at light speed at this point, you know? After playing it in VR and playing through several levels in VR, every time I've tried to just like sit down on the couch and just casually play Thumper without VR, I can't do it. VR ruined that game for me in the ability to play it without VR. Like the sound is different. My timing is completely different because in VR, you're just right there. You're seeing everything and you're just reacting because it's just boom right in front of your eyes. But it loses something when you're sitting on a couch much further away and you don't have that kind of sound pumping into you and everything like that. Like, I can't really explain it, but God, that game is so fun. And I only want to play it in VR. That's my number one game.
All right.
Yeah.
I would say it's a little surprising, but it's a good list.
I knew it would surprise you, Colin. That's what I was going for. Let's move into our final category, Colin. I'm going to let you start with this one. This is the handheld and mobile category.
Yeah, this is. I was actually surprised at how many mobile games I played this year.
Weird, huh?
Yeah, I don't really normally play mobile games,
Yeah,
but
a little scary.
Yeah, so my number 5 is going to be Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Okay.
It is the best Pokemon game released to date.
Mm-hmm.
It has all the updated mechanics that you would want. It has updated visuals that you would want. They brought back some of the 150 Pokemon into it in different forms, which I thought was great for people like me who's always looking for a nostalgia trip. And the area, the Hawaii Loa area is really cool. So that's my number 5.
All right.
My number 4... Sorry, I'm looking at my list here.
I know you have to recap.
Yeah, I got to reference back and forth. Number 4 is going to be Box Boy.
Oh, okay.
Which is the sequel to Box Boy. They basically took the Box Boy concept and added a mechanic where you can do 2 boxes as opposed to just one stream of boxes to add a new layer of puzzles, I guess.
Sure.
And I think that series is just great, and I really hope that the third one comes to the US because I want that amiibo.
Yeah, definitely.
My number 3 is going to be Super Mario Run.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it's Mario on iPhone, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
Aren't you glad you bought it, Colin?
Yeah, there was some. I was a little grumpy about that, but you knew I was going to give in
I knew.
eventually.
I
Anyway.
knew. I just had to talk you off the ledge.
Yeah, yeah. I knew myself, but I was just like, meh. But yeah, it's great. It's absolutely great. And there's like a puzzle mechanic too with timing of getting all the different types of coins. The Toad Rally is quite fun. I think they did a great job with that.
Yeah.
My number 2 is going to be Pokemon Go.
Ooh.
I originally didn't get into this. Like you and Jason and a lot of other people were like super like hardcore, and I was just like, yeah, it's fun. It's fine. Whatever.
You were just bitter because you didn't have any Pokemon near you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's bitter. Like, I wasn't like upset you guys were having fun. I was just kind of like, I don't understand why people like this so much.
Why do you like catching so many Pidgeys? I don't understand.
Yeah, this is so like nothing shows up. And then I went to Seattle with you guys,
Yeah.
and we were playing together. And it's so much fun playing with someone else. I think for starters. And then secondly, like going to Seattle, there's just so many Pokemon, and it helped that PAX is happening at the time. So people are putting lures and like all sorts of crap everywhere. So there's just like constantly being able to play it. So
I get it.
But yeah, coming back from Seattle, yeah, I played it pretty consistently. I even got a Pokemon Go Plus and everything to track my steps and all that. So definitely a great one.
Sure.
Now, my number 1. This might catch you off guard, Josh, because I don't think I ever told you that I played this.
Try me.
Severed.
Oh, boy, you never told me you played that.
Yep.
You sneaky devil, Colin.
Yep. Severed. My number 1.
Which did you play it on?
iPhone.
I forgot it was an iPhone game.
It's super good on iPhone. Like, it is one of my favorite iPhone games I've ever played. This one and Monument Valley are, like, up there with some of my favorite mobile games. It works so well. And like swiping and slashing the enemy, it reminds me of like Fruit Ninja when I played that way back in the day. Like it's so awesome, and the aesthetics is great, the story's awesome, and it's like really actually kind of messed up. Like the story is super messed up and like really dark, but it's such a colorful like palette that it doesn't feel like Dark Souls where you're like, oh, I'm sad to play this. You're just kind of like happy, but you're like,
you kind of forget how horrible it is.
Yeah, it's kind of you kind of do.
Oh my god, I'm so happy you played that. You never how'd you never tell me you played that?
Well, I was thinking about it as I was writing the list. I was like, I don't think I ever told him I played that because it was on sale on Christmas time for like $4.
Okay.
And I think it's normally $7. And I was like, oh, Josh raved about this. I'm going to play it. I looked at the reviews on the iPhone and it was super good. So I was like, yeah, I'm for sure going to download this. I talked to the developer of the game at PAX. Super nice guy.
Right.
And I meant to buy it on 3DS. And then for some reason it never happened. So it just like the stars aligned that I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy this game. And I freaking love it.
I'm so happy for you. That just makes this entire show worth it. As much bloodshed that's about to happen, Colin, it makes it all worth it. Cool. Thank you for that list. My list, in very specific order. Number 5, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Forgot about those ones.
Nostalgia, my friends.
Dang.
That hit in all the right places.
Ah, shoot.
So perfect.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah. I mean, what else needs to be said about that, right?
No, nothing.
Number 4, Kirby Planet Robobots.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
It's Kirby in a giant mech suit. What else can you possibly say about that game?
That was my number 6.
Yeah. It's it. Kirby always makes fun games, right?
Yeah, they're so good.
There's yet to be a Kirby game that I don't find fun in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I agree.
And this was like, mech suits, Kirby, let's do it.
Of course.
Number 3, same as you, Super Mario Run. Can't stop, won't stop. Love that game. All the little events that they keep having, I'm just like, yep, you got me back in.
I got Toadette finally. I was very happy about that. Toadette's my girl.
Good job. I'm a Luigi guy in that game.
Yeah, I like Luigi too.
I like the extra height of the jumps.
For sure.
A little harder to control, but once you master it, whoo boy, watch out.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, or no, that was number 3. Number 2, Severed. PlayStation Vita. Just, God, amazing. amazing. And I'm really upset that you didn't tell me it was on sale on iPhone, because I totally would have bought it then too.
My bad.
Yeah. Great game. Great game. I'm so glad I got in early with the Vita version and just was able to sing its praises and spread the joy of that game, because it's so perfectly well done. My number one game is, of course, Pokemon Go.
Yep. More
than just a game. It was a phenomenon like we haven't seen in gaming in a long, long time. This broke down doors. It destroyed boundaries. It physically and metaphorically. People were just going everywhere Pokemon were, regardless if it was trespassing or not. I've never seen so many people addicted to one singular thing at the same time as Pokemon Go. It's something that we're going to like look back on in like 20, 30 years and like, you remember when Pokemon Go came out and
that's so crazy.
Parks and streets were just infiltrated by people that had never been to those places ever, and they're just all staring at their phones and they're all playing this one game. There's masses of people running to go catch a wild Charizard at the same time because one spawned, at Central Park, or just the stories, the news coverage, the media, everything about it was just like, and the greatest thing about all of it, Colin, is how amazingly broken that game was for like the first month and a half, right?
Yeah.
And people didn't care. It didn't matter. Those servers were so busted. But people just kept logging 15, 20, 30, 40 times a day logging on because it couldn't ever remember that you had logged on before. Servers would go down, you'd have to start playing, do it all over again. Didn't matter. None of that deterred anyone from playing that game. And I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, I remember working and we had, I'd say probably like 200 portable phone chargers or so in stock. And the next day I came in the morning and they were all gone.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just my work. It was every electronic place. There was no mobile chargers, and it was all because of Pokemon Go. Yep. In fact, Mophie, which is one of the biggest like mobile charger companies, stock went up during the Pokemon Go because they saw such a giant uptick in their product. So it transcends the game itself, like how crazy it is. Like then they made the deals with like Starbucks and Sprint stores and. People are still playing it. This Valentine's Day update is I'm trying to find a Chansey. Right. Like that's my main goal, because I still don't have one of those. But
I've seen one in the wild many, many months ago. I did not catch her. So I am determined to finally snag that Pokemon.
Yeah.
But like the Halloween and then like the holiday, and like they continuously are just like, hey, we know you haven't played Pokemon Go in a few seconds. Let's put out a new event and like get everybody all riled up again. And it works.
Does it for me every time.
So, slowly introducing like Gen 2 Pokemon, and I can't explain it. It's a thing, man. It's so good, so good. Not the best game by any stretch of the imagination, but man, it gets its hooks in you quickly, and it doesn't let go.
Gotta catch them all.
So those are our lists, Colin. You know what time it is right now, though, right?
Party time.
No, it's actually time to check in with the audience. We asked everybody to share their joys, their best and favorite games of 2016. Colin, do you have those conveniently pulled up in front of you, ready to go and read out at this moment, right now?
No. But I will do it.
Ahead of time that I was going to do that. I just figured, let's break it up before we start hating each other. Let's continue to love each other while we talk about the community's responses to the question that we posed on Twitter at Joys of Games.
All right, so we got a couple of replies here. One from Big Mike at Big Mike 8109. The Division, Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon 3, Lego Star Wars, Titanfall 2, Fire Emblem Fates, Pokemon Sun, Digimon Story, and WWE 2K17. Right. Jeff Grimes says, Pokemon Go has been a game changer. I still play it every day. All right. That hard to find amiibo at zombie_bits, Fallout 4, and Black Ops 3. Still going strong in those games. I have M. Smith, M. Taser. The games I had the most fun with are Paper Mario Color Splash, World of Final Fantasy, and Twilight Princess HD.
Nice.
Those are some good choices.
Mm-hmm. Is that it?
That is it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just double-checking here. Nope, sorry. I was just double-checking, making sure. That is it.
All right. Collin, it's that time. I know. I don't want to do this either.
Ready to throw it down?
I mean, we don't have to, but we kind of do.
We kind of do, so.
Yeah, we kind of do.
Yeah.
Man, this is going to be tough, man. I'm not ready for this. I'm currently making a list of like the ones that I want to see on this list, which is tough. It's really tough.
Well, should we start with number 10?
I don't know even. Okay, let's. Do you have a list of games that? Do you have a list of 10 in order for yourself?
No.
Okay, perfect.
I don't.
Okay, that's good. What are some games you'd like to see on this list?
Definitely want The Witness on there.
Okay.
Definitely want Doom on there.
Okay, I agree with Doom.
Definitely want Last Guardian on there.
Okay. I'm typing this as we go here, folks. This is live list making.
Holy crap! Live? We're doing this live?
Well, I mean, as live as we possibly can for a recorded podcast.
Inside.
Okay.
Overwatch. You know, I wrote down NES Classic. Can that be on there somewhere?
Yes. It's our list, Colin.
Under Nintendo, I wrote NES Classic because I was like, I can't think of any other Wii U games.
Man, that totally would have been the best Nintendo game.
Yeah, it would.
God, why didn't you argue for that?
The game was Finding the NES Classic.
That's true. That would go to the top of my Nintendo list too. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, but it's not Wii U or 3DS. Anyway,
but it's not handheld or mobile, so that totally qualifies as a Nintendo game.
Yeah,
so we messed our list up big time. I just said Wii U because I didn't think there was any other options.
You were wrong. You were dead wrong.
I mean, Just Dance 2017 did come out for the Nintendo Wii.
That's true.
So we messed that up.
That's true. What else do I want on there? How many did I just give you?
You gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Pokemon Go.
Okay.
I want to say Zelda. Like, I really liked Zelda a lot.
Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uncharted 4. And I really like Severed. I think Severed needs to be on there.
All right.
So that's where I'm at for the 10 that I want on the list.
Sure. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 as well.
Perfect.
But man, you made some really good arguments for some already. Okay. Here's what I have for my 10. And this is before you threw out the NES Classic, so I'm going to have to see if I could fit that in there somewhere. You know what? I'm going to make an adjustment right here now. I'm going to take off Super Mario Run and put in NES Classic.
Good choice.
Pokemon Go, Severed, NES Classic, Thumper, Job Simulator, Firewatch, Uncharted 4, Dead Rising 4, Inside, and Doom.
Okay.
I am okay with eliminating Job Simulator.
Okay.
I am also okay with losing Dead Rising 4.
Okay. Those are the two that I thought that you should get rid of anyway.
Yeah, I knew. I knew that. Doom, I think, deserves to be there. You love The Witness so much.
Oh god, this game's so good.
I know.
So good.
I know. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. You have The Witness, Last Guardian, Overwatch, and Twilight Princess.
Mm-hmm.
I have Thumper and Firewatch that you do not have on your list.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any from your list you would cut? I think Twilight Princess HD.
Yeah, that's gotta be the one. That's gotta go. I love that game, but it is an HD remake. I played it before.
Right.
It didn't grab me like it did the first time. Not like these other games either. So yeah, that can go.
Now you're down to what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're down to 9. What would be the bottom of that list for you?
This is so hard.
I know.
They're all so good.
What's your number one game?
The Witness.
Okay. I knew you were going to do that. I knew that.
Yeah. Number 1 is The Witness. Number 2 it has to be Doom. Those are my two.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. Number 3 is either Last Guardian or Overwatch. I don't know which one I want to pick on that one.
Oh, you're gonna make this really hard. My number one game is Pokemon Go. Just because of everything. Not for the game itself, but what it created.
I think that we should
I haven't
rate
played
it.
Overwatch. I don't have an opinion on it.
Okay.
I have played a few hours of Last Guardian. I understand it, why you would like it, but because I haven't gotten to the parts that really make you fall in love with it, I don't know how much I could actually be okay with it being on the top 10 list.
I mean, I could say this.
That's only because I haven't played it.
Gotcha. I could say, it has a lot of flaws.
Yeah.
Just mechanically, but like the same thing as you could say about Pokemon Go, because it still is a little buggy and it still is really, really limited on what you can do. Like, I understand like the zeitgeist and like what it did for gaming is important, but I'm judging these games off the merits of my personal experience, my favorite experiences.
I know. That's why this is so stupidly tough.
Yeah. So
because I have Thumper and Firewatch on my list that you can't speak on.
I played Thumper.
Oh, okay.
I did play Thumper, and I got to the first boss, and the game is quite intense. But it's also like I've never been a rhythm game person, so like I just have no coordination for that.
Right. I would be okay with losing Thumper.
Okay.
I don't want to. But I'm making sacrifices for this show, Colin, and our friendship. So remember that.
I think I'm going to have to take Last Guardian off, as much as I love that game. I really love that game, but I can't fully say, like, it's a perfect game. Like, it's not. There's other games that play so much better. I won't say they'll have the same emotional impact, but, like, the actual gameplay and presentation is just better in a lot of other games, so I guess I'll just take that one off.
7, okay. 8, we don't have to. That could be our 10th game.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, where's Overwatch? Where's that at?
Still on the list. I'll read you the list of what we have here.
Okay.
And we're down to 10. We've cut it to 10.
Whew.
Do you want that to be number 10, Last Guardian?
Yes.
Okay. Let me read you what we have first, and then I'll let you decide.
Okay.
Pokemon Go, Severed, NES Classic, Firewatch, Uncharted 4, Inside, Doom, The Witness, Overwatch, Last Guardian.
Okay. I want to put Uncharted 4 as a number 9.
Uncharted 4, number 9. How about we do NES Classic number 10?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay. Because, so let's give credit where it's due, but at the same time, it's all NES games.
Yeah, like like you said, give credit to Nintendo for coming up with such a silly idea that's just so perfect.
Right.
I
In
just
a year
wish
when they didn't have much else.
Yeah, it was the only exciting thing that was really happening for them. So
yeah. Okay. Let's take those off the list. All right. Making progress here. This is where it's going to start getting tricky. How would you feel about Severed at number 8?
I'm okay with that.
Or Inside? Which do you feel more strongly about? I personally like Severed more than Inside.
I liked Inside more than Severed.
Of course you
they're both so good though. Like,
okay, where do you feel Overwatch sits on this list?
It can go.
Ooh, you know what? We haven't got to Last Guardian. How about Last Guardian number 8?
Yeah, Last Guardian can stay like pretty low, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Like, I'm just happy it's on the list.
Do you think Last Guardian's better than Uncharted 4?
No.
Okay, so Last Guardian bump it to 9 then. Because you have Uncharted 4 at number 9.
Yeah, my personal list, Last Guardian was above Uncharted, but thinking about it, it's not as good, I guess, overall. So,
sure.
Are you doing this in the Google Doc by chance so I can look at it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I probably should have told you that. You could have participated. Crap. There we go. Okay. So we have 8. Number 8, Uncharted 4. Number 9, Last Guardian. Number 10, NES Classic.
Okay.
Delete some duplicates here.
So number 7.
Number 7.
Or do we put Severed at number 7? Is that what we said?
I really like Severed.
Okay, we'll put Inside at 7.
Really good though. You know what? I don't think I've given Inside enough credit.
I don't know, man. Like
Severed number 7, Inside number 6.
Okay.
How you feel about that?
Yep.
Okay.
I like that quite a bit.
All right. Let's delete those suckers. Severed was really good, but Inside was more impactful, I think.
Yeah, it really was.
So now we're down to Pokemon Go, Firewatch, Doom, The Witness, and Overwatch.
Overwatch.
How about this? Because I know I can't argue too much about it. Firewatch number 5.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Pokemon Go, Doom, The Witness, and Overwatch.
Yeah, number 4 can be Overwatch.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Here we go.
This is what we were trying to avoid the entire time.
Yeah.
Top 3. Pokemon Go, Doom, and The Witness.
If it was me, Witness would be number 1, Doom would be number 2, Pokemon Go would be number 3.
If it was me, 1 Pokemon Go, 2 The Witness, 3 Doom.
Okay.
I think The Witness is better than Doom.
Okay.
I think we both agree on that.
Yes.
So it's just Pokemon Go that's the hang up.
Yeah, Pokemon Go and The Witness is the hang up. So we'll do Doom at number 3.
I would be okay with Pokemon Go number 2. I adamantly
Really?
stress that the Pokemon Go experience is like nothing other in gaming. But at the same time, you could say the same for The Witness.
Yep.
It was completely different than any other game we've ever played and may ever play again.
I mean, I understand your point too.
It was
like
so culturally important. Pokemon Go was.
Yeah, but how fun was it to play?
Still is fun.
It's
I
fun.
stopped having fun with The Witness about halfway through, looked up a guide, and used a guide to solve every puzzle so I could run through it and see the ending.
Yeah,
I had fun up until the point where I hit a wall, and I was just like, this is too much. This hurts my head. I'm not having fun anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas I have never said I'm not having fun anymore with Pokemon Go. I just don't play it. And then something will get me back. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm having fun again. Because it's 5-minute experience, and then I put it back in my pocket.
Right. Yeah, and The Witness ending was much to be desired for me after all
Like you even argued like the better ending you have to watch on YouTube because of how much you have to go through to get the better ending.
Yeah, and the better ending was really like super wacky, but like in a cool way.
Yeah. I know how much fun you had with The Witness. But
so good. It's so perfect. Like it's
good.
I think I've ever said a game is perfect. That game is perfect. Like there's no flaws in it. Like it is perfectly designed. It looks amazing. It controls well. It runs well. Like it's mechanically perfect. Pokemon Go is...
You're still playing Pokemon Go. You bought an accessory, a $35 accessory to continue to play Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You purposely go to trips to like the zoo and such so you could play Pokemon Go.
I just wish that I hope if that game had like a better battle system, I would be like, yeah, number 1 for sure. But it's so limited what you can do. So
why are you still playing it?
Because I gotta catch them all.
Do you have fun catching new Pokemon?
When new Pokemon show up, yeah. Absolutely. It's exciting.
Did you have fun catching a Pikachu in a Santa hat?
I did.
Yeah.
And evolving into Raichu.
Right.
But I also had like a mind-bending experience playing The Witness that challenged my brain to the point where I was writing puzzles down on my iPad to try to help myself figure this stuff out. Like, I've never been so challenged before in a game, and not in a combat scenario like a Dark Souls, but like just a straight up mind game. Like, what in the heck am I supposed to be doing here?
But have you ever felt more connected to a gaming experience than when you went to Seattle and PAX and everybody around you is playing the exact same game at the exact same time?
I mean, that's how I felt with Smash. Like, I went to the Retro Game Expo and everyone was playing Smash on DS. So, yeah, I have felt it before, but it was definitely better because, like, I was with you.
Going to a restaurant, walking down the block.
Yeah. You know? I mean, it's really cool. I just...
I hate this.
They're so different. That's one of the other big issues. It's like comparing an apple to an orange. Like, I give in. Pokemon Go is number 1.
Is it just because you don't want to sit here and argue too much?
No, it's not that. I loved playing with you and Jason and Matt and Val. Like, I loved doing that at PAX. But it wasn't just that. Like, my son and I played it a ton, and just like the joy on his face catching like a Pokemon he's never seen before just makes it number 1 for me. Like, I had so much fun watching him play it that like it just that's what did it.
Wow.
I totally like neglected to even think about, like, you kept saying their social experience, but like I totally neglected to think beyond that PAX
right
story. And it's that is I don't think there's anything that's like made me so happy before playing a cell phone game for that matter.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I know you played The Witness with your wife, and you guys try to solve puzzles together and everything like that. But like,
and we've
once
done
the
that
experience
before.
ended and you got through it, like that was it.
Right. And you're right. We're still playing Pokemon Go. So,
and your son's still having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I bet every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every time.
I'm not saying it's the best game. I am not arguing that. I am saying it is the best and most fun gaming experience of 2016.
All the joys.
That's what we're about here, Colin. We're about joy.
Yep.
Witness, damn good game.
Yep.
Not going to take anything away from it. But once that experience, you either hit the wall or you finish it, that's it. You just have to just wrap it up in a nice little bow, put it in your memory bank, and remember the good old times you had with it. Pokemon Go, you're still experiencing it. You're still having fun. You're still enjoying it.
I really hope that down the road that we're going to see more gameplay depth with that game.
Me too.
I think we will. So
I think so too.
Considering how well it's still doing.
Like if they stopped adding like events and bonus little holiday things and stuff, like I would be concerned that we're not going to see more support. But like I didn't expect the Valentine's Day thing, and then just like, oh yeah, hey, here's some cool things. It's like, you know what? You guys still care a little bit, and that gives me hope.
I feel like they announced it really late this time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the Christmas one we heard about weeks before.
Right.
So
yeah, maybe they just wanted to make sure it was all up and running before people started jumping back in again.
Crash the servers again.
I appreciate that. So just a quick recap. Top 10 games, gaming experiences, the most fun we had with games, the most joyful games, 2016 for the Joys of Games podcast. Number 10, NES Classic. Just a little box of nostalgia. Number 9.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I need to add something on here.
Okay.
I totally forgot. Star Fox Zero needs to go on there somewhere.
That's a strong number 11 contender, Colin.
It's a -1.
That's a just barely missed the cut.
All right.
Number 10, NES Classic. Number 9, The Last Guardian. Number 8, Uncharted 4. Number 7, Severed. Number 6, Inside. Number 5, Firewatch. Number 4, Overwatch.
Nice. It's a lot of watches.
Number 3, Doom. Number 2, The Witness. And number 1, Pokemon Go. Colin, we made it out alive, my friend.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Let's never do that again.
Well, until next year. Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe next year we'll bring on a third person just to be a moderator.
Yeah.
Or convolute it even more.
I'm okay with either of those.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm okay with it, but I'm still kind of like not okay with it.
Yeah, I know. It feels dirty. I understand. It feels
icky.
Gross. But that's okay, because just rest assured that come next year, Resident Evil 7 is going to be something I die on a hill for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the next best VR experience happens.
I don't know if they're going to be able to top this.
Oof. That's some big talk you got there.
Yeah, I'm throwing that out there. And I'm not just saying for like best VR game or best PlayStation game. I'm talking like a best game of the year.
Ooh. Dang, dude, that's some high praise.
That's before Breath of the Wild comes out. I understand that. That's before Mario Odyssey or Splatoon 2 or everything that's coming out on the Switch. I understand that, but I can't stop thinking about Resident Evil 7.
Oh man.
So
sounds like the Resident Evil 7's gonna be like The Witness for you. The Witness came out in January, so
I'm just warning you now, Colin. Like, have a strong argument. Start building that case over the next 10 months for whatever you think is going to be better.
Oh, I will.
I already know what you're thinking, so
I will.
Work on it, my friend. This was fun, Colin. We should do this again next year. But next week, we'll be back with a week of Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which is complicated. Because we're a few weeks out from the release of the Switch.
Right.
But hey, The way everything else has fallen in line with this month, everything's going to work out just fine. I promise you that, folks. Until then, though, Colin, where can people find you at?
They can find me on Twitter at PTX_geek.
Excellent. You can find me on Twitter at The Noise with a Y. Be sure to follow the show at Joys of Games. You could email us, joysofgames@gmail.com. Everything we do is hosted on the website, toysforgames.com. And if you'd like to support us and what we are doing, you could do so over at Patreon, patreon.com/toysforgames. Colin, thank you so much. It's been fun.
Oh, yeah.
I'll see you next week, my friend.
Later.
Remember, play some games. Enjoy them. Good night.
Good night.